Alright, this is it! This is my 50th video. So I want to do something really special. So I'm back in Chinatown to get the ingredients for the single best dish I've made on this channel. My PoPo's pho. I've made lots of local food on this channel, but to me, my PoPo's pho tops it all. PoPo's pho isn't like any pho you've ever had at any Vietnamese restaurant in town. Firstly, most of the Vietnamese restaurants in town are Southern-style Vietnamese. But my mother's family was from FangCheng in GuangXi, the province in China that sits across the northern border of Vietnam. So PoPo's pho is more similar to the northern style of pho in Vietnam, which has a very different flavor profile. Additionally, my family is Chinese, not Vietnamese. So naturally, PoPo's pho was influenced by other styles of ho fun from that part of China. The result is a pho that is unique to my family. One of the reasons that I started this channel was to preserve my family's recipes to pass them on to the next generation. So PoPo's pho has always been at the top of my list to make. It's deeply personal, but I'm gonna share it with all of you. Okay, so how do we get this pot started? First, fill half the pot with water. The key ingredient here is beef bones, but not just any bones. You want shin bones filled with marrow. The marrow in the bones will make the stock super rich and flavorful. Now it's out to the yard to pick some green onions. We want really fresh, aromatic ingredients for this. Can't get fresher than that. This is the pho that I had growing up. It might just be my favorite thing that my PoPo ever cooked. So to this day, I just can't go to any Vietnamese restaurant and order pho. It's just not the same, and I'm always disappointed. When you order pho at most Vietnamese restaurants, you will get very thin, raw slices of steak that you plunge into the hot broth to cook in moments. It's fine, but to me, just not flavorful enough. That's why they give you a little hoisin sauce to dip it in. Some places will also offer beef brisket, which I think is much tastier. But PoPo always insisted on this one particular cut of beef, slow-cooked beef shins. Probably because she was using shin bones to begin with. Now, onto our spice blend. Start with 1 stick of cinnamon and just slip it into the spice bag. We don't want little bits of spices floating around. Next is a tablespoon of whole cloves. Whole cloves are gonna be pricier than the ground up stuff, but it's well worth it for that fragrance. Lastly, we're gonna use a few pieces of whole star anise for a licoricey hit. This blend of spices is so burned into my memory engrams. As soon as I get a whiff of it, it immediately invokes PoPo's pho to me. We'll just kick it up a little bit with a hit of freshly cracked pepper. Now of course, it just wouldn't be a Vietnamese dish without a good ladle full of nuoc mam, fish sauce, the backbone of all Vietnamese cuisine. Now we're gonna cover this and let it simmer for a good 4 hours so we can coax out all of the flavors from the bones and the fragrances of the spices. Very importantly though, every half an hour you need to open it up and skim off the slick of fat on the surface. Don't skip this step. Good pho should be intensely beefy and rich, but not oily. PoPo always said the broth should be ching, a very clean and clear taste. While it simmers, we can go back out to the yard and pick up some fresh calamansi. The bright fruitiness of the citrus will cut through all the richness of the beef. That contrast is very important to the pho and to Vietnamese cuisine in general. We're also going to top our pho with the standard accoutrements. Some fresh Thai basil for an even more fragrant, aromatic broth, and some nice crunchy bean sprouts to contrast the soft noodle. Okay, I've said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. The name of this dish is pronounced pho, not pho. This dish is not your enemy. Pho, like you're gonna swear at someone, but cut short. Normally, you see Vietnamese restaurants with names like Pho 21 or Pho Viet. But I've seen some clever restaurants with cheeky names like Pho King and Pho Q. After 4 hours, you can fish out the shin meat and start slicing it up. Wow, it's so tender, it's practically falling apart. But that's fine, it just means a better distribution in each spoonful. Now, there's another big difference with PoPo's pho. Most Vietnamese restaurants will use dried rice noodles. They even call it rice stick. But PoPo always insisted on using fresh Look Fun, as you saw me going to the Look Fun factory in Chinatown to pick it up. Dried rice noodles can get crumbly, whereas fresh Look Fun, or Ho Fun if you're not from Hawaii, is so soft and supple. Plus, it's about twice as wide as the rice sticks you get in the restaurants. The texture makes a whole world of difference. Anthony Bourdain would always go around and ask other chefs, if they were on death row, what would they want for their last meal? That's a really tough question, but something deep inside of me always answers, this pho, and I would want my PoPo to make it for me. Besides being unbelievably delicious, it would be comforting, reassuring, and like my PoPo is there welcoming me. And that's it. PoPo's pho. My family's pho. With the wider Look Fun, it's very slippery and can be tricky to pick up, but that just makes it taste even better. In Chinese, it's a big compliment to your noodles to be ho wat, or very slippery. And that beef? Oh my god, this is it! So melt in your mouth tender, so intensely beefy, so incredibly rich. This is it. Of course, the best is if you can get noodle, broth, beef, herbs, and vegetables all in one perfect bite. But the absolute best part is that luscious, rich bone marrow. It is nothing short of heavenly. Maybe the single best mouthful in the world. Somewhere up there, PoPo is watching me share this super special dish with you. I hope she's happy that her legacy, her love, can be felt for generations to come. Until next time, Joy Kim and a hui ho.